Welcome back, everybody, to the Orange Bumper Podcast. I guess this is technically the Thanksgiving edition.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We've got somebody on the show today that's done his fair share of eating up trophies this year. Just a quick rundown, and I'm going to have to take a deep breath to get all this out. 2025 Xfinity Series Rookie of the Year. Finished second place in points, which, in my humble opinion, was a robbery. But anyway, that's just my opinion, nobody else's. Winner of the 2024 24 Hours of Daytona LMP2 winner. 2024 12 Hours of Sebring LMP2 winner. 2021 Mazda MX-5 Cup Scholarship winner. And the first American to win the CIK FIA Karting Academy Championship, I guess. Is that right? Yeah. And currently racing with Trackhouse Racing on the Cup side. And last year was with Junior Motorsports on the Xfinity side. It is our pleasure to welcome Mr. Connor Zilisch.
Thank you. That's a warm welcome. I appreciate it.
Well, you earned it, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the thing where Tiger Woods is standing on the tee box and he's got, I think, Phil Mickelson up there with him, and they're introducing Tiger as, winner of 4 Masters and U.S. Opens and da-da-da-da-da. And finally, Phil Mickelson's like, all right, we get it. Like, we get it. Same thing, but no, man, we're pumped that you're here. Thank you for coming, taking time out of your day.
Yeah, no, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I've been to the stadium. I've seen Burt race, and I was Team Burt when I went up there. So it's good to be here. Good to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was one.
I didn't know that either.
That was
pretty
cool.
cool.
One of my questions. Is, have you been to the stadium yet? So, well, good. So, I guess where do we start? Because we were talking earlier, and your path and Bert's path are like totally different. I guess, how did you even get into racing?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, honestly. My dad was never a race car driver. My family, I'm first generation. My dad, he enjoyed cars, but he grew up with a single mother who was a school teacher, never had any money to go race or do anything like that. And he worked in finance for over 25 years, and he didn't have the money to do it when he was a kid, but he really loved it. And then he bought a Corvette when he was older and started going to the track. He would go to VIR, Road Atlanta, and take his car to the track for fun. And my soccer coach, or my brother's soccer coach, when I was young, saw him driving his car, and they talked about it a little bit. And he said, you should try taking your kids to the go-kart track and see what they think about that. So my dad sold, one of his cars that he was taking to the track, and bought me and all my brothers go-karts. I have 2 older brothers, and we started going to the track as a family for fun. Part of it was because, my mom would get so mad at him that he would leave on the weekends to go to the track when I was 5 years old and my brothers were 8 and 10. It was just becoming a lot for her to handle on her own. So he took matters into his own hands and started bringing us with him. And it was just a great way for the family to go to the track. And it started out as a hobby. I never even knew there was a career to be made driving race cars when I was 5 years old. But I guess I was good enough at it that, my dad kept at it and just risked a lot. But we had a lot of fun. Like we enjoyed every moment together. And even though I never thought I was going to make to this point, those memories as a kid will live forever.
Where'd you start racing? Were you on a Millbridge, or were you?
No, so I was racing asphalt go-karts.
Oh, asphalt, okay.
Yeah, so like road courses, and I didn't race an oval till 2022 was the first time, and I started racing in 2010. So, I was so, this NASCAR stuff was never really what I thought I was going to do. I didn't think I was going to race at all professionally, but I started racing go-karts in South Carolina at Kershaw CMP. And quickly, started traveling when I was a couple years older, when I was 9 or 10, and we would go to Florida and do some big races. And then I won a championship in 2017 that won me a ticket to go race in the World Championship in Italy in 2017. And went over there. There was 165 kids in my class, like all the best in the world. Kimi Antonelli, the F1 driver, he was in that race. There was a bunch of just really big names that, for me going over there, nobody knew who I was. And I ended up going over there and winning that race, the World Championship. And so that's what kind of kept me coming back to Europe. And I spent a few years over there. And I came back to America, and, I started racing here more in 2021 or so. And I was teammates with Keelan Harvick, Kevin's son. And, Kevin I was helping Keelan. I was coaching him a little bit, just trying to give him as much advice and help him as much as I could because we were teammates. And Kevin liked me and wanted to help. And he walked up to my dad one day and said, "Hey, what's your plan with Connor?" And my dad was like, "Well, he's going to, race this for a couple more years. And, when he turns 18, he's going to go to college and go find a job."
Right.
And Kevin was like, "No, you got to give him a shot." So Kevin, took matters into his own hands and helped me when he didn't have to. And he really got me my first kind of chance to get into the next level. And that's kind of why I'm here today.
What was the discussion like with your family when you decided to go to Europe and they stayed here?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot to swallow for a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just even as adults, the language barrier, I'm sure you had help over there and whatever team you were with gave you good support filling that in. But how does that conversation happen with your parents about, hey, I'm just going to go to Europe and race?
Yeah, it was tough. My mom, especially, I eventually had to switch to online school. I left all my friends at school for something that, didn't even seem possible at the time. I was like, man, I'm leaving school. I'm leaving all my friends behind to go do this go-kart racing thing. And I don't even know what it's going to turn into one day. I don't know what risk I'm taking. I was obviously getting an education online school, but I lost, all my friends and I lost, I lost a lot. Yeah, I know.
They've come back.
Yeah.
Hey, remember me? You may not answer the phone, but they came back.
So it was tough on them, but it was really cool for me I was 11 years old, 12, 13, 14, the time I spent over there. And most of the time, my parents both worked full-time jobs. My mom works in cancer research and my dad was working for Wells Fargo in Charlotte. And they didn't have the time and they couldn't come with me all the time. So I would go over there with my mechanic or my coach. And, we spent a lot of time over there together having fun. And he was, very normal, good old boy from Florida and he would get sick of me too. And there would be days where, he was like, "I don't even want to go to dinner with you right now." So I would always have a bike in my apartment or wherever Airbnb we were staying. And I would ride my bike at 13 years old to dinner by myself in a country I couldn't speak the language. Crazy. And it made me grow up fast and I matured quick. And, I didn't realize how cool those days were until a couple years passed looking back on it. But, I learned so much, not only about how to drive a race car, but just life and how to get through life and how to navigate problems. And, it definitely made me the person I am today.
It's hard. And I go through this with Connor and you probably might with Slate. I want my son, he's 17 and we're from Davie County, great place to live, great, everything's wonderful about it. But I want him to understand that there is so much more and bigger things out there. Don't just feel like you got to spend your whole life, right here.
Yeah.
I want him to spread his wings and go and see different places, learn new cultures. But at 11 years old, man, that's
the old saying is the best way to learn how to be comfortable is to get uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your maturity shows on the racetrack.
Yeah.
I think you race well beyond your years, and you just explain why. Because your life, you had to. The life you had in your younger. You're still young. A while ago, he said, "When I was younger," I'm like,
what was that, 3 years ago?
A kid does, but no kidding. Excuse me. The way you had to learn and fend for yourself, and you had to grow up fast, and that shows on the racetrack. And I think other people. I mean, I see it, and the chat is. I think most people see. That the respect that you show, and the respect that you have, and you earned it. And it's because of the way you had to. You didn't have a choice. You had to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very true. I had to grow up quick and I had to gain the respect from the people I was around because, nobody really knew me over there. And I was, still trying to make a name for myself and just try and get people to help me. And I just wanted to be someone people wanted to help. And, that's how you gotta be if you want people to push you and make you better and want to help you. And, I quickly realized that.
At what point did you kind of have the aha moment where you were like, there's a future for me in this? Like, when did you realize big things could and were going to happen for you?
I think the dream really started when I won that race in 2017 when I won the world championship. That's kind of when I realized, man, maybe I do have a chance at something, but still it seems so far-fetched because at that point in my career, like when I was a little kid, I dreamed of racing in F1. And then, when I was 9 or 10 years old, I quickly realized there's no way this is going to happen. I learned how much money those kids had that were racing in the feeder series of F1. And, I started thinking about what I could race in NASCAR. And I thought I was like, okay, I'll go make a career racing sports cars. And, you don't make NASCAR money, but you make a living. And that's all I cared about. I didn't care if I was making 50 grand or whatever it was. Right. I just wanted to, go race cars and, live my dream. And, it was, when I came back to America and Kevin started helping me and, when I got hooked up with Chevrolet, that's really when I was about 15. And they started helping my career and trying to get me to the next level and helping pay for my late model racing. And that's really when I started to realize that, if I am able to go out and execute and do the things I need to on the racetrack, that, I have a chance I'm with the right people that can get me to the next level.
I know everybody or most drivers at some point in their life, they've had a good mentor or somebody that you don't realize they're a mentor at the time, but they gave you the honest truth that you needed to hear when you needed to hear it. Who has been that person for you? I mean, I know Kevin Harvick's helped you, professionally, but I'm sure there's somebody else that has kind of helped you navigate through the craziness of the racing world. Who is that person for you?
I would say the last 4 years or so, it's been Josh Wise. He raced in the Cup Series for a couple years. I'd say 10 years ago or so. And he was racing in the back. He didn't have great opportunities. He was, not loving what he was doing. And he actually, quit racing Cup full time and ended up going back to school, got a degree in psychology. And he just wanted to come back and help. And he knew that, he could make a driver better than, what we were seeing on the racetrack. And he knew that there was so much mental games that you have to learn and get through in racing. And everybody at the top is talented. Everybody has talent. Like, you have to do something else to separate yourself. And he came back from college and started working with Chip Ganassi Racing. And at the time, Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch was there, I'm pretty sure, when he was there. And he started with Kyle when Kyle was, wrecking a bunch and making mistakes. But the talented Kyle was there, and they knew that Josh knew that there was something that was going to get Kyle to the next level. So Josh started working with Kyle, and now 7 years later, so he's a 2-time Cup champion, and he's probably the best driver of the current generation. And that's because of a lot of what Josh did. And I've had Josh with me with Chevy for the last 4 years or so. And whether it's talking about a girlfriend or talking about what I'm going to do at the racetrack or my life at home or whatever it is, he's a guy that I feel really comfortable going to and talking to, and he'll always shoot me straight and give me an honest answer. And most of the time his advice is better than any advice I could give myself. So you really do need someone like that, especially at my age. Like, I'm so young. I don't know much. I have
you don't know what you don't know.
I feel like I have so many dumb questions, just stuff that, a guy that's 30 getting to the Cup Series isn't going to have these questions. But, for me being 19, I haven't been doing this for that long. I have those questions. Yeah. So it's tough at times to manage that and, just living the life of having a professional career at my age. Some things don't feel normal to me and I'm learning as I go, but I think that's one of the coolest parts about it.
But one of the things that's always impressed me about race car drivers, and I see this a lot with Bert, and it kind of befuddles me a lot, but the mental toughness that you have to be competitive, but the competition on the track is just a small part of it. Like, some of the things that he deals with and the way he deals with it, I've only seen him freak out once. And I mean, seriously, and I've known him for 15 years, and there's been
because I can think of a couple, but I'm curious which one you picked out.
No, it was this year.
This year,
yeah. So
I freaked out this year.
yeah, there's new carburetor on Slate's car and it had been checked. And then the radiator cap wasn't safety, whatever.
Oh, that's when they had
and
the
then
faulty cap. Well,
and then
that's
the cap
whenever
broke, and it was a
we
whole
already
lot
had.
going on
Yeah,
one time.
you're right. I did. I threw the radiator cap.
Yeah, and
You're right.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
But I'd never seen you do that.
I was mad. Well, see, they changed. I'm not going to say names or manufacturers. I went to the supply house in Mooresville to buy 2 new radiator caps. I was like, you know what? There's other ones have been on there a while. I'm gonna get 2 new caps. And the company that I'd been using no longer makes those caps. So I went with the one that they have in stock now. And you know, at the stadium, it's kind of hectic because Slate's right beside me. So we're kind of doing our stuff, and Jamie and the guys are kind of doing mine. So
There's a
I
lot
go back
going
and
on.
forth.
Yeah.
And something had already happened. And when I went over, they had laid the radiator cap on the nose or the tire. And then whenever we cranked the car up,
It fell
the cap
off.
fell off and it broke just by falling off. And I had already had enough of something else. And I remember, I did throw that cap. I forgot about that. Well, you call that
was
freaking
good.
out? Man?
Oh,
That's
no.
not
The
freaking
bar's
out.
low.
Well,
That's
no,
not
I mean,
freaking
but
out.
when you've never seen him do it before, and
Yeah.
I've seen him under some serious stress.
Yeah.
And the dude's just the whole time, man. I'm sitting
Well,
there like,
I'm
I
also
would,
almost 50 years old too. That's.
But
a lot
I'm the
of
same
it. I
age.
could see where, and I've heard Kyle talk about having like a life coach. I guess is what they call somebody like Josh,
Yeah.
and having somebody to be able to lean on that's been through it and you know, seasoned.
yeah.
I kind of just went through it, you know, and you know, it's like we talked about earlier, the things that you feel and the things sometimes you want to say, but you know you can't. And then the more you think about it, you're not sure if that was actually right or not.
But
You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the things I've learned over the years in life and in racing is, and I've heard you joke about how I should be a lawyer. Well, you don't see me that way unless I know 100%
Correct.
that I know what I'm talking
Correct.
about. And if I don't know 100%, I usually stay somewhat quiet. But if you do hear me rant, it's because I know I'm right.
That's one of the things. Like the younger guys, they've got formal, structured, I guess, training.
Yeah.
You know, hey, if you have a bad day or you know your temper's hot and you get out of the car and that microphone is straight in your face, you have to remember. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys get coached on this because you've got a lot riding on it. When you were coming up, you know, it was almost more like, you know, hey, you know, Burton Jr. just got into it. Make sure and get this because you know he's going to go off the deep end.
And they still try.
And they do. Yeah. But,
There's several of them.
But my point is
they try.
You've learned trial by fire.
Yeah.
As opposed to some of the younger guys.
Yeah.
They've got really good people like Josh in their corner.
Yeah.
That can kind of coach them and help navigate on track stuff, which in turn.
Well, and when I was growing up versus times now, they're a lot different too. With social media, everything's on video. One slip of the tongue can cost you your career now, and we've seen that. Yeah, not just in racing, but in other, in life in general. So,
everybody recording your radios.
The most dangerous.
Everything.
People don't understand. I've heard the preacher say this before. The most deadliest weapon in the world is your tongue.
He's right.
That's your tongue because you can't take it back.
Yeah,
you say it, that's it.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Like
nowadays,
you
when
can't.
everything's
I mean,
on
the radio
camera.
button for me is the toughest thing.
Yeah, right.
Like if I'm saying something in the car, like there's a button there, I gotta push it.
Right.
But it bites me in the butt. Sometimes.
It does, but you know, I mean, that's part of what makes our sport so great is the raw emotion.
Yeah.
And you know, they talk about the fight back in the day in Daytona.
Hey everybody, it's Devin from New Again, and today I'm going to show you a different way you can use our rust remover kit. As you can see, there is some surface rust right here on this table saw. Someone left a jug that had some water on it, or some water just got trapped underneath the jug, creating an outline, or whatever this is, of surface rust. So first we're going to take our soapy water, we're going to get rid of any contaminants, any loose particles on the surface. Then we're going to take our gel, we're going to apply it to the surface, let it spread out. Then we're going to take our applicator pad and we're going to actually agitate it a little bit, try and get it in there a little bit deeper if we can. So the key point is just making sure that everything's covered with this gel. Then we're going to let it sit for a little bit. So after you see that the rust has been removed, we're going to wipe it down, we're going to rinse it, we're going to dry it and see what it looks like. And these are the results. You can find New Again in the grilling section at Home Depot or online at homedepot.com.
what makes this sport what it is. And, you know, for me and Kyle have been buddies for a long time. And I hear people say, Kyle's a crybaby. Well, guess what? When Kyle finishes second, he's mad.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate that. Now, there's sometimes you're like, all right, Kyle, you should probably not say that. But at the same time, that's what makes this sport what it is he doesn't want to lose.
Well,
he doesn't want to lose.
Even look at Harvick, right? Thing popped up on my TikTok feed the other day where, and he was young. I want to say it was maybe Phoenix. It was a him and Biffle thing. Harvick gets wrecked out early, and he says live on TV, "I'm gonna wait for him."
Yeah.
And then after the race, Biffle gets out of the car. And I mean, Harvick he could not have gotten any closer.
Yeah.
And he's just, like that's not today's Kevin Harvick.
Right.
Yeah.
But he learned, from that. And
Right.
so
Age is a lot of that too, though.
and that's why Keelan's so well spoken. I saw him at I think it was last week, and every question that reporter asked him, and the guy was young, Keelan started off with, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
Our car,
It's
like
very
just-
clear that Kevin
Yeah.
that's one of the main things they're working on with him.
But it matters. It
Absolutely.
really matters.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I don't think you should sugarcoat yourself to not be you.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I watched some of y'all's YouTube videos, you and Jesse Love.
Yeah.
And like y'all just goofing off. Like
Yeah.
to me, that's what makes a fan a fan.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a thing with y'all playing golf, and y'all going back and forth, and when he and I would play golf, it was the same way, right? Like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Anybody can relate to that. But some of these folks that are just so
Yeah,
Cookie
nobody
cutter.
wants.
Yeah. The cookie
Yeah.
cutter stuff. Like for me, that's like, I'm not going to change who I am because there's a camera in front of my face, or, I'm
Where have you heard that before?
yeah, right.
That's what I told when they filmed the Madhouse. And I think I told this when they filmed the Madhouse, and they were trying to provoke me and trying to get me to say things and do things that I was like, look, I'm not going to change
It's
who
not
I
me,
am just because
yeah.
there's a camera here.
Yeah.
Film or not,
Yeah.
it's up to you.
And people see that. I
Yeah.
mean, they do. That NASCAR fans are so educated and are so involved that they can pick that out really quick.
Yeah.
And you don't want to.
You know, one of the biggest things, and we've talked about this before, one of the biggest complaints that people had about the Madhouse series is when they were adding engine sounds and tire screeching sounds in, because they know.
Yeah.
They know when a modified comes off the corner at Bowman Gray, it
doesn't
go,
screech.
They know better. They know better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's subtle. But to that point,
But they
fans
pick
are
it
not
out.
stupid.
No, they pick it
Fans
out.
are not stupid. They know.
They pick it out.
How many drivers can we name over the years been very successful, get out, and they go, what a great day. And fans are like,
what is that?
And I'm
Yeah.
sitting there going, he just got a Coke point.
Yeah.
He just
but
got a
the
Coke
guys
point.
that get out and they go, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, you're like, hey, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, that's
like
cool.
when Butterbean gets out,
Yeah.
like he's genuine.
That's
like,
right, man.
I like Ross.
There's a fine line there. There's a
There
fine
is.
line.
I mean,
There's a
but
fine line.
what I don't like is somebody gets out completely emotionless. And there's like,
Some
the
people
car,
can't help it though. I figured that out.
The car
I know several drivers that are friends of mine, and they are genuinely excited.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to show it.
Yeah.
Like,
That
man,
just-
what a great
that
day.
ruins
We
it for
just
me.
had- we
I
just
either
had a
wanna
great day,
see-
and I'm like, man, you just
Hey,
won
be
this
excited.
big
Yeah.
race. And
Yeah.
I want to see either, like Denny Hamlin's interview when he started crying.
Vegas. Yeah.
That was genuine, man.
Yeah.
Like I've been on the fence about am I a Denny Hamlin fan or not. I do want to see him win a championship because I do think he's deserving of
Yeah.
that.
It would be like not quite, but like Dale winning the Daytona 500
100%.
senior. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been trying for so long.
I don't know if I've told this, that when we were at the banquet, I talked to Denny, and I've only talked to Denny a couple of times. And I told him straight up, I said, not a fan. Not a fan. When that race started, I was thinking to myself, anybody but Denny. I said, but now I want you to win it.
Yeah.
I want you to win it. And I think you may, I don't know, I could be speaking out of turn. I think you're going to see a different Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
I think this whole 11 against the world stuff and him trying to be that person, just go be Denny Hamlin and go race.
Yeah.
And I think if you see that, I think you're going to see people. I think I've seen a lot in our circle. A lot of people turn on how they felt about Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see him win it. I
would
really
too.
would. I really would like to see Denny win the championship.
I would too. I mean, he you can't take it from him. He's a great driver.
Yeah. One of
And-
the best.
yeah.
One of the best.
But when he got out and he was so emotional, like that's not manufactured.
Right.
That's not corporate. That's not
Yeah.
cookie cutter, And it's just like, I remember seeing Ross Chastain. It was a long time ago. He was running a truck. It was an underfunded truck team, and he performed really well in this particular race. But I think it was his last race, and he was almost crying. And I'll never forget this. And this is why I'm a fan of his. He was almost crying in the interview, and he said, "I am good. I can make this happen. I just need somebody to take a chance on me."
Yeah.
And then things come full circle, and look at him now. But to me, that's why I became a fan. Like, I wanted to pull for him, right? Like, because I knew it was genuine.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see when he won his first race, and the smashing the watermelons and all that stuff. I used to like watching Carl Edwards do backflips off the windows and all that stuff. But
I don't care what Ross does. The move at Martinsville goes down in history.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I literally was jumping on my bed. 40-something years old,
insane.
jumping on my bed. Did you see that? Did you see that?
I know.
That was the coolest thing I've ever
can't
seen.
swipe
Man.
past it every time it comes up on my
That
phone.
was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And then listening
man.
to the other drivers,
Yeah, their radios.
But who got screwed? Denny.
Denny Evans.
Yeah.
Yep. And at the time, I was like, all right, cool.
I just cannot imagine if you're in Hamlin's spot and you're the last
You're just
one
chilling,
in,
man.
in like the last 80
You're good
feet.
by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes Mario Kart out of nowhere, and you're just like, that was
happened?
awesome,
Yeah.
but damn it, me again? Like, what the hell? But that was really cool.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
They have the wall.
You
the
can't do it
Martin-
anymore.
Yeah,
I
they
know
have
that.
it in the shop.
Yeah, they bought
it's
the
in the
Martin-
shop.
yeah, that's what I thought.
The car, and then a piece of the wall is in the shop.
That's pretty cool.
pretty cool.
And that's what I like about NASCAR. Like, that stuff matters.
Yeah.
That stuff's
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, when we talk about success, what's the best piece of racing advice? And this is for both of you. Best piece of racing advice and best life advice that you've ever gotten that you were just like, golly, like I need that tattooed on my forehead. That's so right.
I would say this could go for both, but Josh told me a couple years ago, and I struggle all the time with, I used to like get to the racetrack and I was like, man, this is like big moment. Like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And he told me one day, practice like your life depends on it, or prepare like your life depends on it, and compete like it doesn't matter. And, that kind of stuck with me because, you do so much to prepare for these races and these big moments, and you get to it and there's a lot riding on the line. And, sometimes you feel like the moment can be too big. And, for me, that kind of just changed my perspective on things. And you still are going to do everything leading up to these races and these big moments. And, but when you get there, you've done everything at that point. You just got to go out and do it. And, for me, that kind of helped me a lot, just settling in and not letting any moment be too big. I used to get really nervous before races and that would get to me and it would affect me. And it kind of like my first truck race at COTA where I missed the turn 1 from the pole and went dead straight and basically ruined my race in the first corner. That was like a moment for me where I look back on and I was like, man, I let the moment get too big. And then I went back and my first Xfinity race, I ended up winning. And, that was really special to me, more so because of that, because, I guess that was like April to August or the end of the year. And, I felt like I did a much better job. So yeah, it's the little things like that for me that, that quote stuck with me and definitely I always remind myself of that, like prepare like your life depends on it, compete like it doesn't matter.
It's pretty.
I've heard that. That's pretty cool.
That's good. Yeah. What about you?
Well, he's right. Racing and life, same thing. And how you behave in life is how you'll behave on the racetrack. So it carries over. In your situation, you have more bigger single moments. Like every weekend is a big moment for you guys. Where for us, not so much. So we have some big races, and every race counts if you're running for a championship. Right. But I think we've already touched on it one time. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. I cannot stand somebody that will, what's the word, two-faced or patronize you, says what you want to hear. And we've talked about this. People like that have a certain opinion, just leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. But a lot of times you might not like what I got to say, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And Ben Gable told me one time what Mark Twain said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember a thing. So it makes your life a lot easier. if you just tell the truth, it makes everything go smooth. And that falls right in line with just be yourself and, just live life the best way you know how. And same way with racing. With racing, I learned a long time ago, starting on the pole, first race of the year, biggest, because at the stadium, the 200 lapper is the biggest race of the year, not counting the last race. But you say, all right, I'm starting on the pole. I'm going to get the lead and I'm going to run this pace and I'm going to do this. And I learned a long time ago, you can't make a plan. When the green flag falls, you start working and you just take it as it comes, lap by lap by lap. Because I learned what happens is if you make a plan, you say, all right, here's what I'm going to do. And then turn one, you miss the corner. What good did that plan do you? Because I'm sure you had a plan of how you were going to handle that race and you miss turn one and blow the whole corner.
Yeah.
And
Everything's changed.
So what good did it do you to make a plan?
Yeah.
So now people my wife might argue with me because she's more of a planner than I am. I'm more of a fly by the seat of your pants, and that may be the reason. I live my life the same way. I'm an impulse person. Mm-hmm. We're out somewhere, and there's something, oh, man, I really like that jacket or that shirt. Well, you just bought a shirt. I know, but I really like that one. And I have to be talked down because I'm an impulse person, and that's the way I don't think of it as, well, next week, whenever I get my paycheck, I'm going to go. I'm an impulse person. I think that comes from the habits of racing is you have to be an impulse person when you're a race car driver.
Do you think that the way somebody races is a direct reflection of their personality?
A whole lot of it. Yes, sir.
Because, you hear some people say, oh, he's the greatest guy in the world, and he puts that helmet on. And
well, what that does, I think putting your helmet on makes you sometimes redirect your focus.
That's fair.
But you're still the same person. The guy that, I've got one in mind, but I'm going to say a name. There's a certain driver I know of that whenever we're talking like this, just seems chill, seems cool. He puts his helmet on. He's a bull in a china shop. I got news for you. That guy's a bull in a china shop all the time. He's just not showing you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a certain driver we know of that when you talk to him, it's just on the chip. And then he's in the race car. It's the same person.
Chip, yeah.
So I think it may not be accurate 100% of the time, but I think most of the time it's the same person. The helmet makes you maybe do things you might not normally do, but why you did it. And I've knocked people out of the way for a win and I knew exactly what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I knew that it was probably going to come back on me. But at the time I thought it was worth it.
Yeah.
And so it makes you think a little differently, but you're still, I really believe you're the same person.
If you're not out there to win, what are you out there for?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a competitor, I mean, there are, at our level or Bert's level, there are hobby racers. Like where you are, it's not. Like it's a business.
You're
it's an
racing for
industry.
your life,
100%. Like you're racing for your career. So Red Bull is, a global company. How did you and Red Bull come together? Because Bert and I were talking about this, and we agree. Like Red Bull seems to me like if there was ever a company that isn't afraid to push the limits, it's on the edge, that wants that guy that people are saying, I wonder what he's going to do next, or what kind of crazy, like Travis Pastrana, great example. Like you never know what that dude's going to do.
Yeah,
but they are really good at picking up and being able to, I don't want to say predict the future, but understand who the rising stars are. If you would have told me Shane would have had such a footprint he's got now, I'd have told you you're crazy.
Yeah.
But Red Bull was all in with him. And so I think for you, it says a lot that Red Bull is as dedicated with you as they are.
Yeah, it's so cool to be a part of a brand like Red Bull. I remember watching YouTube videos when I was younger as a kid. I am a kid, but I'm gonna stop saying that.
Right.
I'm gonna stop saying that.
But before you were a professional,
like when I was 10 or 11 years old, I remember watching YouTube videos of guys jumping from the stratosphere and guys just doing crazy stuff and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, like I want to be one of those guys. Like I want to be a Red Bull athlete. I want to be a part of that family. And now I feel like I think a lot of Red Bull athletes probably think this, but now I feel like the Biggest Loser Red Bull athlete. I'm like, I drive a car in a circle and I see guys, the stuff that they do, doing triple backflips off of a ski mountain.
Yeah, but they're probably sitting there saying the same thing about you.
That's the thing. I feel like a lot of us think that because our professions, to ourselves seems so simple because we've been doing it for so long. And, you look at someone else and you're like, I don't know how I could ever do what they do. But it's so cool to be a part of the Red Bull brand. And it started, my first race with them was actually Watkins Glen when I won my first Xfinity race. So it's been about almost a year and a half that I've been with Red Bull, and Scott Speed is one of the big keys. He's been with Red Bull forever. He raced F1 for Red Bull a long time ago, and also Shane coming to America and being with Trackhouse. They wanted a younger driver in NASCAR, and they wanted to get back into the sport. America is one of their biggest markets, and there's not much of a better way to go to market than to put yourself in NASCAR. And they saw something in Trackhouse, and, the brands just really aligned, and it worked well. And for me, being young, they wanted a younger guy. And then they have Shane, who's been with Red Bull for a long time now. And, it's so cool. It's crazy that they're back in the sport. And that, I'm going to have Red Bull on my car in the Daytona 500 in February. It's pretty crazy to think that, 10 years ago, they were racing with Brian Vickers and Casey Kane, and and obviously they put a lot of money into that program, and things didn't go the way they wanted to. They got out of the sport, and they've been killing it in F1 the last few years, and they just the American market is so big for them, and they wanted to find a place where they could grow, and they want to get back in the sport, but do it right this time. So it's gonna be really cool to have them back, and just everything they do, the things they have planned, and the ideas they have for what we're gonna do with Red Bull and NASCAR is really cool, and I'm excited for it.
If their marketing director, even like their number 10 down the list in marketing, is around, I want you to let me know, because I want to come pick them up and go to the gas station, and I want them to buy me lottery tickets. I want them to come up with the numbers, tell me what numbers to get, because their ability to hit is like second to none.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's crazy. I went to California and went to their U.S. headquarters, and everybody who works for Red Bull is like an awesome person, and that's just that's what makes a company great, is people. At the bottom at the end of the day, it's the people who
have to build a good culture,
who make the company what it is, and Red Bull definitely has that, and just the people that they have working for them, and it truly does feel like family. And you go to F1 races, and you get to meet the other athletes, and the hat they only give to athletes. So if you see someone with a Red Bull hat, you know that they're one of the 800 or something Red Bull athletes in the country. They don't sell the hats. They don't
be careful.
Do anything.
Don't don't wear it in Chicago. Don't wear it in Chicago. You'll probably get that thing stolen.
But it's such a cool brand, and you go to these big events, and they have guests there, but anybody with a Red Bull hat on, is an athlete. So you walk up to them, you ask them what they do, and it's a unique way to show your athletes love and make them feel special.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I said that's neat.
Yeah.
We are Citrusafe, where good grilling is made better. We have prided ourselves in being the industry pioneer for safe grill cleaners. Our citrus-powered grill cleaner spray paired with our nylon bristle brushes is all you need when it comes time to clean your grill. We strive to not only save you fuel, but also avoid the dangers associated with ingesting metal wire grill brushes. Citrusafe is available at major retailers nationwide, from Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, Walmart, and many more. We also are available online on Amazon.com. Citrusafe, great for all grills.
Red Bull to me has always seemed like, we've kind of talked about it, the off the cuff, extreme, like trying to find that niche to make them different. And I think with NASCAR, by selecting somebody like you in SVG, that's not your run of the mill.
No, they're
NASCAR driver.
Their success is not cookie
35-year-old extinct.
Right.
I don't want to say cookie cutter, but the
Traditional.
traditional driver. So to get a young driver in an SVG, that kind of follows Red Bull's pattern.
Yeah.
It does.
Of getting that. What can we do different?
Right.
That kind of attitude.
Yeah.
What
Thinking
can
outside
we do
the
different?
box.
Yeah.
If you ever go to what do they call it, the flu tag?
Yeah, where they fly the.
Yeah, if you
make your own
if you
kite.
need like somebody to carry your bags or something,
You go.
let me know, because I want to go.
All right.
Like, I'm dying to see that thing.
That's so funny. I love watching. I mean, there's so many events they put on that just look so cool. And I've been to F1 races and a couple things, but I've never been to that. So I'll let you know.
Well, I'll carry your bag for you if you go. Just
All right.
just to earn my way. no, a lot of people know you, and I kind of debated on whether or not I was going to bring this up. A lot of people know you from your social media infamy from Victory Lane.
Yeah.
Are you healed up now?
Yeah, I'm good. I got a good scar, and you know, it was crazy, honest. Like, just the people that reached out and friends from middle school texting me, dude, I just saw you on the news. What was that? And every time, you know, I was with some kids that are my age that, you know, don't really know much about racing, and this girl was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, I got in a car accident, and I was like, oh, it's okay, I fell off my car, and then you get down the path. It's a great story to tell. It's funny, and
Well, it's great that you're okay.
I think we were at the stadium that night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because
everybody was, I think Jamie and them were watching it on the iPad.
Yes.
And then after it started kind of happening, everybody's like, you see this? You see this? You see this?
Well, initially
God.
the story was like you had a closed head injury, and
they were so worried about me, and it was really funny. I mean, the medics did a great job, and you know, I owe a lot to them. I hit the ground, I was knocked out, I was unconscious, and I wake up, and they're just worried about my head. Yeah. They take me to the care center, and they're worried about my neck and my head, and I don't even remember getting knocked out. I wake up and I'm like, I start coming to terms with myself, and I'm like, man, my shoulder hurts.
What happened?
And they come up to me and they put a neck brace on for my neck, and you know, that supports
Right
from
on the
your
collarbone,
shoulder.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like supporting from your shoulder, and like I starting to like feel once like all the adrenaline wears off, and I'm waking up, and I'm like, man, you got to get this neck brace off of me. And they were like, no, like what if you're? And I was like, you got to take this thing off. I promise my head and my neck are all right. You know, somehow I didn't have a concussion. I went to the neurologist, you know, the next week, and you know, they said I had a concussion, but there was no symptoms or anything, and you know, I was good to race, and it was pretty crazy. I had surgery Tuesday after that, and I went to Daytona and started the race, you know, a week and 2 days later.
Yeah.
You know, just is crazy that, you know, I could break my collarbone, have surgery, and get back in the car that soon. And just the social media, like the amount of people that saw that video, it was just insane. I had, you know, there was hundreds of millions of views. It seemed like on that.
Well, it made mainstream news that usually doesn't even have anything to do with
I know.
NASCAR.
Well, that's the crazy part. Like that's
TMZ.
That's what sucks.
It's on TMZ.
I know. That's what I hate. Like our sport, you know, only gets mainstream media when
He can tell you
stupid
all
stuff
about it.
like that.
He can tell
Here's
you all
one thing
about
that
it.
should make you feel better. So, fortunately for you, you don't suck. Because if you sucked from there on, you'd be that guy that fell off your car.
Yeah.
We're past that now.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody sees him, they don't say, oh, he's the guy that fell off his
Right.
car. They're like,
Right.
oh, he's the guy that kicked their ass.
Right.
So you're good.
Yeah, that's
you're
true.
good.
That's true.
That we deal with a lot of that at the stadium, and it's all these great things can happen, but one bad little thing, and that's all anybody wants to
That's
talk about.
what people
You know,
remember.
and that's so other than racing, which we've clearly defined you're very good at, what do you do away from racing? Like right now, racing probably publicly defines you, but hopefully racing in your mind doesn't define you. Like you've got other stuff going on. Like what else do you like doing away from the racetrack?
Yeah, that's been one thing for me that's sometimes tough to balance, because yes, I am, you know, a NASCAR Cup Series driver. I'm a professional. I have a professional career sitting right in front of me. I have to, you know, jump at every opportunity I have. I have to make the most of every opportunity. You know, my career is no longer a hobby, and that's, you know, at the same time, I'm 19 years old. I'm a kid. I want to go do things that kids do. Yeah. I want to have fun in life and hang out with my friends and do, you know, normal kid things. But at the same time, I have to go to the racetrack on Sundays and you know, compete
Perform.
like my life depends on it. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's tough at times to manage, but, you know, I've got a great group of friends that definitely make things easier. And, you know, all of us race. All my friends are in the racing industry. You know, obviously Jesse and I are really good buddies, and, the Baldwins, you know, I've become pretty close with Luke and Jack, and, you know, I've got, you know, just a great group of friends that allow me to come home. And when I come home, I'm not thinking about, we're not talking about the racing.
Right.
And we're, you know, we're able to separate, you know, what we do on Monday and Tuesday together versus what we do on Saturday and Sunday at the racetrack. And that's important because when you do this stuff for 38 weekends a year, you know, you want to go home and not think about it for a couple days and get away from it. And during the off season, you don't want to be thinking or talking about, you know, what February is going to look like. You know, you just want to get away from it for some time. And, you know, at the same time, I love it. Like it's what I want to do. I love it. I every week I look forward to going to the track. It's hard. It's just for your mental well-being, you have to get away from it. So, yeah, I mean, I play golf and in the summers I live on Lake Norman and I love to go on the lake and I surf and, you know, at the same time, I'm just a normal kid and I still see myself that way. I don't see myself as someone who is, you know, famous or, you know, has, you know, anything, you know, really going for me. I at the end of the day, I'm a normal kid, and you know that's how I see myself. That's how
the more popular you'll be too.
Yeah, that's how I want my friends to see me. And when I see old friends, I don't want them to see me as someone different than I was in 7th grade. I just want to be, you know, a normal kid, and you know, I don't want to have to go to meet people and be introduced as the race car driver. I want to be introduced as Connor. And
but you're going to.
I 100%. And that's one thing, even with my parents, that I tell them all the time. It's like, you know, when we invite someone over the house or meet someone new, I want you to introduce me as Connor. And if, you know, they ask about what I do, I'll tell them, but I don't want, you know, I don't want that to be my title. Right. You know, I want to be just a kid that, you know.
What makes it hard, excuse me, what makes it hard for me, and I think I'm hearing the same thing. You, in your mind, we can separate it. Groups of people can't. So, like, for example, me and Doug played golf yesterday morning. I don't think we talked about racing one time. Mm-hmm. Not one time. I can turn it off, and Doug can turn it off. What happens when you go to a group of people and you've turned it off?
Yeah.
And then they start talking about racing, and they start talking about, oh, yeah. And you're like, hey, man, I turned that off.
Yeah.
Let's don't talk about it. But they can't turn it off. And I don't mean that negative, but what I'm saying is that's what makes it hard for me and for race car drivers or anybody that's in any kind of spotlight at all, is we know we have found our way to turn it off. But when you get with a group of people who are not in your circle, it's not their fault.
Yeah. But I'd be curious too.
They're not turning it off. So in your mind, when you turn it off, when me and Kim went to a function and it was not fun, but we went to a function in Kernersville a couple weeks ago. I didn't know anybody there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I know that sounds nuts.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that I don't like engaging in fans, but in my mind, this function I'm turning it off.
No, but sometimes
I'm going with Kim, and we're going to go. We were representing a company, and we were going to go. We're going to have a dinner. People were going to get awards for something else other than racing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a NASCAR banquet, and in my mind, this is pretty chill.
Yeah. Because
I could turn it off. They didn't know that it was turned on.
Right.
And it was just a regular life moment.
Yeah.
And you don't get many of those.
Yeah.
So when you do, you were like, oh man, this is all right.
Yeah.
You're not used to it.
You were talking about, telling your parents, like, don't tell them what I do or whatever. When I was with the Highway Patrol, it was the same way.
Yeah.
And to your point, I finally, in the latter part of my career, people would say, oh, yeah, it's nice to meet you. What do you do? I would just say, I just patch potholes on the highway. It wasn't that I wasn't proud of what I did. Mm-hmm. It was just like you were saying, when I took my uniform off, my wife knew, just give me 30 minutes to just kind of let the uniform hang, kind of decompress from the day, and then I'm husband, dad, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you get around a group of people, all they want to talk about is, like for me, hey, have you ever shot anybody?
Right.
You ever tased anybody? Like tell me your best story.
Right.
And when you're young, it's great.
But there's times where you like telling those stories.
Yeah.
But it depends on.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. Is you have to have that balance of, all right, am I going to turn this off, or can I turn this off, or the group of people I'm going to be with, are they turning it off? So it's if there's that balance there. It's tough,
I can be myself unfiltered, I don't mind telling Highway Patrol stories. Because God knows I've got some great ones,
right?
Yeah.
But if it's a group of people I don't know, and it just, I don't know, like, and that's why I told you earlier, be proud of what you do, perform, be a professional, but don't let it define you, right? Because if you do that, then, it's the same in racing as it is in law enforcement. You get people that have been there forever. They are absolutely useless. All they do is get in the way, but they won't leave because when they leave, they're not, oh, that's the race car driver.
Right.
Or, oh, that's the highway patrolman. You know, they just get attached to that. And,
Yeah.
you know, when I was getting ready to retire, I remember I had people saying, you know, you think you're going to miss it? No. Like, I can't get away from this quick enough.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm tired of being part of the solution. I'm ready to be part of the problem. You know, like to heck with this. But but you know, you've got and
But
both
racing's
of you,
not like that.
no, but where I had to worry about public perception and
Right.
internal affairs and all that stuff, you guys have to worry about sponsorship relationships. You know, like if you know if I go off on this guy here in the grocery store and he knows who I am, you know, what's going to be the backlash? You know, so you don't realize all the responsibility that you have on your shoulders until you get out from under it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the greatest things about retirement for me is that I didn't have to worry about it.
I guess my loophole is I told you about when I write my book.
Yeah.
I write my book, it's going to be after I'm out of racing.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I can't do it now.
Yeah. Well, one of the greatest freedoms is not having accountability.
Right.
You know, I mean, Tommy gives me a great deal of leeway. And there's a lot of times, especially like Bowman Gray pages and stuff, where I'll see stuff and, you know, I'll have this great response typed up, you know, and I'll send it to Tommy and be like, what do you think? He's like, I think you don't need to do that.
No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I've encouraged plenty of friends and family members to stop looking at it.
Yeah. And you're
Stop
right.
looking at it
You're
because
right.
it's hard, man.
It is.
And we can talk about how, you know, I've been doing this my whole life and I'm used to it and I can turn it off and all that, but we're still human. And so when somebody shows you something that's negative, it still affects you. Maybe it doesn't.
Negative when it's
it
so
doesn't-
far from the truth.
Yeah, when it's yes. If it's something negative and it's something that was the truth, and then, you know, you're like, oh yeah,
I did it. I earned
But
it,
whenever
you know.
you see or hear something that you know is just absurd, and somebody put it out there just to be malicious,
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, man, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Why you got to do that?
You know, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Yes, but it still affects you, but you got to learn how to just.
You can't listen.
No, can't listen because that's like we've talked about this before. The way I handle it is, I have to think about who posted it or who said it. Do they really matter to what I'm doing in my life? Does this person really matter? No, normally they don't.
No.
Piggy.
Man, that's terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, moving on.
Long time hater. Anyway. Well, the last race of the year, I want to call her name out so bad I can't stand
Golly, Phil.
last race of the year. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole about the points set up and what should have been, could have been, would have
Yeah.
been, you know, all that stuff. But racing one of your best friends for a championship with all the things on the line, does friendship ever come into the equation? Like, or is it like, hey man, we'll patch this up later if we need to?
Yeah, I get asked that one a lot, and for me, it doesn't. You know, I'm gonna race Jesse the same as I'm gonna race Justin, the same as I'm gonna race Sheldon Creed. You know, it's just the way it is. Like, you know, at the end of the day, when we put our helmets on, we're not friends anymore, really. This is a job, and you know,
performance-based.
our job is to go out and win the race, and I'm not gonna let my friend, because he's my friend, get in the way of that. And you know, if I'm running 12th and you know I suck and he's coming through the field, am I going to maybe give him a point by or something? Yeah, I might be a little nicer, but you know, racing for a championship,
Right.
you know, that is one thing that I would not let affect how I'm going to race. And it was cool getting to share that with one of my best friends and getting to go out and race for a NASCAR championship with someone I'm really close with. But, you know, at the same time, it just, that whole weekend was, you know, so cool for me. And, you know, I those are the moments you dream of as a kid is standing on that stage with those four guys before the race. And, you know, you got all the fans there and, you know, you're racing for a damn NASCAR championship.
Yeah.
And that was just surreal. And, you know, although the race didn't go how we wanted it to, we finished third and, you know, came up a little short. It was still, if you would have told me that I would have been in that situation when I was 11, and I wouldn't have believed you. So that's kind of what I have to remind myself of, and remind myself of what's to come. That's going to be hopefully one day just a small bump in the road, and something I'll look back on and just laugh about and be thankful for, and those memories will last forever. And although I was really torn, and the next few days sucked, and getting over that is not easy. I learned a lot of lessons, and Jesse obviously got to win a really big race for himself, and had a really big moment, and celebrating that was hard, and it sucks when you finish second in the championship and they make you have to go to the banquet. And I don't know what other sport we have. I think Denny said, I don't know what other sport, you have to go celebrate the winner as a loser.
Right.
So there's moments that are tough, but through it all, I just have to remind myself of what's to come, and be excited for the future. And I try not to get too far into the future. I don't look into the past, but in a moment like that, I felt like it was the only choice.
You and Bert have both been in a position where you've won damn near everything there is to win in a year and still didn't win the championship. And I think you'll agree with me on this. It's probably a lot easier to handle when you're younger, like at the beginning of your career, than it would be the latter parts of your career.
Yeah. And I talked to Denny about that. I saw him on Sunday night, and I told him I felt really bad for him, and I was like, man, that was hard to watch, and I might not be the biggest Denny fan. I really respect what you do, and I wanted to see you win that championship. And he was even closer than me. Like, he was at the point in the race where he knew what it was like, and he knew what it felt like to be a champion. When you're coming to the closing laps, you're counting them down 5, 4.
No caution.
You're just trying to get to the white flag.
Yeah.
And he had the feeling of what it was going to be like. Yeah. And I never had that in that race. I was never, leading really. I led a couple laps, but, and then he told me, he's like, yeah, man, I'm sure that sucked, but imagine doing that for 20 years. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I can't imagine. And for me, I have many, many, many more years ahead of me than I do behind me. And for him, it's the opposite. He's got, a couple years in front of him that he's going to have a chance to win. And then with his dad and everything, it was just, it was a mixture of a lot of things, but it's, yeah, I mean, I have a long career ahead of me, I hope, and I'll have more moments like that to try and go chase a championship, I'm sure, and that's what excites me.
Devin, do you have that piece pulled up? Because he just hit something pretty good. So if your driving career doesn't work out, I'm pretty sure I found a second career
boy.
for you.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was there.
Somebody had to raise the vibes.
I mean, dude, that takes balls right there, man.
Yeah.
Like, get up in front of all your peers and sing Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a banger right there.
Oh, there's...
You know, from the profile, you look like Donald Trump. Am I lying? American Idol might be calling.
Maybe one day.
That was so cool, though.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, man, there's not a lot of people that put themselves out there
We were
like
all
that.
just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, off to the side.
Y'all were there, and I think Byron was over there, and Denowitz, when we were hanging out. And the next thing you know, the song starts playing, and we turn around, and you and Jesse were gone. And then they're up on stage. I was like, oh, hey,
Well, and that's one of those songs, like, you can't help but
it's
to get your attention.
It's going to be in my mind all day.
Yeah.
It's going to be stuck in my head all day now.
After I was watching
Thanks
this
a lot,
last
Devin.
night,
Thanks.
no, I sent it to Devin last night, and I said you might want to have this queued up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But even after I watched it, I was laying there in the bed last night, and for some reason, I'm just, you can't help but let it
It's
grab
one of
you.
those songs, man.
It sticks with you.
But have you ever had a chance to drive a modified?
I haven't. No, I haven't. And I've talked to Tommy about it, Tommy Baldwin, and I want to do it eventually. Go to maybe New Hampshire weekend or something. Go race some modified there. That race looks so cool. But yeah, it's something I want to do, and that's something I'm always game for, is driving a race car, and no matter what it is. And so yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe one Saturday morning.
There you go.
Off.
Test sessions at Caraway coming up?
Maybe. See what happens.
I don't know. We'll all promise to leave our phones in the car. We don't want any more TMZ stuff. Connor Zilisch out here breaking track records.
I've told a lot of people that are sitting right there, it's going to take away some of the feeling you have on Sundays if you get in that modified.
Oh boy.
It
Oh
will.
boy. Oh boy.
It will. It won't be the same anymore. 'Cause once you drive a modified, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's just something about a modified that you can't get. Now, I've never driven an F1 or something like that, but full body stuff, it's just something about a modified that full bodies can't give you, man.
Yeah, that, I mean,
awesome.
even me racing like downforce cars and IMSA, like that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you get in that, and oh my gosh, the downforce in those, it's just a feeling you can't get in a stock car. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe one Saturday morning at the stadium.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool. After the Clash.
After the Clash.
Yeah. Are you going to run the Clash?
Yeah, I'm running the Clash.
Pretty excited about that?
Yeah, it'll be so cool. I mean, I've never raced at the stadium before, so I've been as a fan a couple times. But yeah, getting to race there and the fans there.
It's crazy.
I've sat in the stands, so I know what it's like. But
right.
It's cool.
You will definitely be a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like when you do
I
your
think so.
track walk or you know, because I mean you're right there with the fans, you know. But you'll be a fan favorite. They'll like you, especially after coming on, on this show.
Yeah.
There's a couple other drivers at the track that have small fan bases, but nothing like this. So you'll be a fan favorite. But I'm hoping that we can get you back over there maybe for if it works out a test or something.
That'd be cool.
Or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We'll wrap at Redbull and everything. You can have all the Redbull execs come down. And
I'll give you
we'll
some
just make
cans.
a party. Yeah, we'll just make it a party. I'm just throwing that out there.
There we go.
Modifieds that's a Red Bull avenue if you ask me.
You're not lying.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind
you're
of
not
that
lying.
extreme.
Well, it's. I've always said that the guys that drive modifieds are just outlaws.
Yeah.
Like just it's not that they couldn't make it in Cup or higher series. They're just like you don't know if you're going to be getting out fighting or hugging.
Yeah.
There's outlaws. And 99% of the time they ain't hugging.
Maybe both.
Yeah, they ain't hugging. But what's been your most favorite thing to drive? Like just from sheer fun.
Yeah, I mean, I drove that Cadillac GTP car. I mean, that thing is pretty insane. It's got 700 something horsepower and doesn't weigh much and has downforce and all these tools. And, at Daytona, we're going over 200 miles an hour on the road course. That was really cool. And I've driven a lot of cool things. And my favorite race probably is the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Really?
That race, the fans, winning it was insane. Getting a Rolex, and I was 17 when I won that race, and it was pretty crazy. Getting the chance to do that, and that's kind of one of the races I went to as a kid with my dad, and we would watch, and that race is just it's so cool, and you don't really get it till you go and experience it, and just the fans that are walking down pit road at 2 a.m. Just. It's cool when you see people people that love it as much as we do, and there's so many of them there, and that's why I love it. And that's why I keep coming back and doing it. This coming year will be my 3rd year doing it. So
who are you running with? Like who are the other drivers?
I'm pretty sure that I'll run for Cadillac. It's not confirmed yet. I've got another test. Actually, next week. So depending on how things go, hopefully it all works out and I'll get to do it with them. And my teammates would be Jack Aitken, Fred Vesti, and Earl Bamber. They're all sports car guys. Jack and Fred were, right on the cusp of racing F1 and ended up coming here and doing sports car racing. But yeah, that race is just so cool. And that's why I keep going back and wanting to do it.
If you were going to get just like your dad had the Corvette, and that was like his toy. I don't know. Maybe it was his midlife crisis. I don't know. I bought a tractor.
Yeah.
But if you were going to get a car, and it was just your hobby car that you would just take up to VIR and just burn the tires off of it and just hair on fire, like I cannot wait to get a break so I can take this thing out. What kind of car would you get? Any car.
I've actually. Recently, I've been wanting to buy one of the new Corvette ZR1Xs, the hybrid, like 1,250 horsepower, all-wheel drive. It's pretty insane. And my dad was obviously a big Corvette guy, so it'd be cool to have that with him.
Yeah.
Don't you drive for Chevrolet? They should give you a deal or something.
I know. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to work on it. I know. I want one, but those cars are crazy, and I want to buy. I'm really close to buying one, so hopefully I can do that. If I win a race or something, I'll.
There's a guy I can put you in contact with in Concord. Which is it? Rick? What's that guy's name?
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
I know where this one's going.
Starts with H. I
Yeah,
think.
he does something with some racing. Anyway, y'all probably have a lot in common.
Yeah,
He probably
I think he owns a couple dealerships.
A couple,
too.
Yeah, he's got a couple. Yeah. Funny story about him. I met him. I worked for Highway Patrol during the drag race weekend, the 4 wides. And I got bored, and so I rode over to their campus, for lack of a better word, and I was just riding around. It was Saturday. There was nobody there, nobody working. And I was back between these 2 buildings, and I'm leaned over in my patrol car, doing some paperwork. And all of a sudden, I just hear this, and this brand new red Ferrari comes drifting between these 2 buildings. I mean, just boiling the tires. It's Mr. H and his grandson. And he pulls up beside my window, like cops do. You know? Like, hey, Trooper, what's going on? I was like, hey, Mr. H, how you doing? So I'm instantly thinking, hell, am I trespassing? Like, is I going to call me? Like, how bad is this going to be? He was like, hey, what you up to? I was like, well, I'm over here with the 4 wides. We got a break. I'm just bored. I'm a circle track guy, whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I was just showing my grandson my new car. And I was like, well, you don't have to apologize to me. I mean, this is your dirt, your car. I'm whatever. So he says, hey, you got a minute? I was like, yeah, sure. So follow me over here to this building. I was like, okay. So we go over there and pull up this just real nondescript looking building, and he gets out and he's got his wallet and he does a little GS-15 CIA security thing. Door unlocks. We open it up and it's just like the angel starts singing and there's doves flying everywhere. And it was his private car collection, right?
Yeah.
Couple more steps.
How's it going?
Are you me?
Yeah, I'm you from the future.
Well, hold on, let me shoot this deer real quick.
Yeah, that deer's gonna wind you because you didn't use your limit shield. Told you so. Anyway, I got a jet. Just remember to use your limit shield. Oh yeah, and if Mike asks you to go to Tijuana, don't go.
Oh my God. And so and this was right after Richmond, when Boyer spun himself out. Jeff Gordon got booted from the playoffs.
Yeah.
And no, this was a Thursday. This was a Thursday of the 4 wides, first day, not Saturday. Anyway, so Mr. H is giving me a tour and telling me about all these cars. And have you been in there by chance? Okay, well, when you do, it's invitation only. So maybe you'll get an invitation. But, maybe Chevrolet will pull some strings for you. But no, it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. He has remade his life inside this place. His old farmhouse and the fire department and the bank where his wife worked and all this stuff. And he starts showing me all these Corvettes and Camaros. And he's like, yes, that's, VIN number 00001.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Like we've got shoes in our closet. He's got.
Yeah, he's a big Corvette guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he gets a phone call, and it was NASCAR calling to tell him that they were going to let Gordon in. And they were going to, instead of having 12, they'd have 13 or whatever the number was.
Yeah.
And so he has this guy come in because he's got to take these calls because, believe it or not, it was somebody more important than Philip at the time. This guy comes in, and he just kept referring to him as number 1. Hey, number 1's going to take care of you. Number 1's going to show you around. Number 1 this. So after we're walking around, I asked this fella, I said, just out of curiosity, like, are you MI6? Like, instead of being 007, you're number 1? Like, what's the deal? He said, well, when Mr. H first started, I was his first employee.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, how long ago was that? And he was like, about 40 years ago. I said,
Yeah.
you're still like on the payroll? He was like, oh yeah, come check this out. So we walk out the back. There's this beautiful, brand new Peterbilt, and it's decked out. It's got it's white. The whole trailer was solid white, no lettering, no nothing on the door. It just said number 1. And apparently what they do is like once a month or once a quarter, they select employees throughout the Hendrick group that have stood out or done a good job or whatever they did. And they get to go and pick one of these cars. And number 1 puts them on the trailer and they go across the street to the drag strip and they get to drive them. And you listen to stories like that. And that's why Rick Hendrick is as successful as he is.
Like you said, people.
Yeah. I mean, it's leadership. Like you have to lead people. You cannot manage them.
Yeah.
Right.
And, just listen to what makes your world go round. and just what little bit I know about Trackhouse and kind of how they do things, I think that's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
You know, like they're going to let you do you.
Yeah.
Like they're going to let you be you, and they're going to support it. And when you have somewhere that enables their people, lets them be themselves, and gives them all the resources for success, you're going to find success.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, so
Should be fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited about watching
It's going to be cool. I mean,
this year.
yeah, Mr. H is a great guy, and everybody knows that in our industry, and that's why he's built the team he has. That's why he has Hendrick, all the Hendrick companies are what they are, and it's going to be cool to get to race against them and kind of be Chevy teammates with them and get to work with their drivers, and it's going to be cool. Just experience it all. I mean, all of it's going to be so cool.
Well, last night I called L.W. Miller. You know, he was on here last week.
Yep.
Or I texted him and I said, "Hey man," I said, "Connor's coming on the show tomorrow. Can you give me something that I can just prompt him with that he won't know how I knew that, where I can catch him off guard?" And like 20 minutes goes by, and I've figured out, like, when people get text messages from me, I'm pretty pretty far down the list, so it's a while before I get a response back. Totally okay, but I chalked it up that he was trying to think of something. And he finally responds back, and he's like, "Man, I really can't." He's like, "He's a sharp kid." He said, he's the future, man. He said, "I can't even come up with a good funny story because the kid's just a good kid. Like, he doesn't do anything stupid." But to have that reputation in the industry as you're starting,
That just means I haven't been around long enough to do something stupid.
Either that, or it just means you're smart enough not to get caught. People would ask me, friends I grew up with, they wouldn't see me for a long time. They'd see me in uniform. They'd be like, "Hey, you're a trooper."
You.
I'm like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "How did that happen?" I was like, "Look, while y'all were, I cut it off. I was smart enough not to get caught."
Yeah.
The love of donuts just took over, didn't it?
Dude, I do, man. I can't help it. I love a hot nail, man. How do you drive by it? The plus fat, we got them for free. It didn't hurt.
Hey.
I mean, but I never did do the, of course, I don't give money at Starbucks, but I don't do the mocha froca chocolate lattes or whatever all that stuff is. I can't do that. I haven't gotten into that.
Fair enough.
But, what do you have going on? We know Connor's going to be the Trackhouse this year, full season. Prediction of how many wins you'll have?
Shoot, I don't know. Cup Series is a different animal.
Yeah.
I had 10.
answer.
I had 10 this year, and in
you have 10 or
Xfinity
11?
10. There was 11 on the car. Kyle won in my car at Texas, so the car had 11.
Okay.
I have 10. I have 11 Xfinity wins. I won one, I guess, the year before at Watkins Glen, so I have 11 total.
You didn't
but-
have anything going on that weekend, so I just guess I'll go win a race real quick in the Xfinity
basically,
Series.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't really set expectations for myself. Like I want to go out. I'm going to be a rookie. I'm 19. I want to go have fun. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to let the pressure. I want to walk on the stage at the Daytona 500 and say I'm going to have fun today and I'm going to enjoy this. And I watched this race on TV as a kid, and I remember going to dinner and this race was on TV everywhere you went, and I just want to enjoy this moment, and I think that stays the same for me. I don't really look at it like I have to go out and win a race or anything like that. I know if I go and learn and get better each week that I'll, I have faith in myself and trust and confidence in myself that I'll get to where I need to be eventually. I just got to stay true to it and
And you've got good people around you too. I mean, it's not like
I have people around me that believe in me, and they know that if they give me time and let me do my thing, that I'll grow and I'll get to the point where, I'll get successful and be successful. But yeah, Sunday racing, there's no sport that has a jump as big as NASCAR, where you go from Xfinity to Cup, and it is a whole different ball game. So I'm prepared for it. I mean, a lot of the guys who are my age that have made the jump at my age, everybody has struggled. So, that
if it was
obviously
easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly. No, I mean, that's the thing. And if it were easy, there would be a ton of 19-year-olds in the Cup Series, and it's not. And that's the bottom line. And all these guys are going to have me covered on experience, going to have me covered on everything. But I know if I do my job and just learn and have fun, and hopefully from February to November, as long as I'm a better driver, November than I was February, then that's all you can ask for.
That's the best damn
Dude, I'm
answer.
telling
That's the
you.
best damn answer I've heard.
LW was right, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's
That's pretty spot on right there.
and I don't think that was coached. Like I think
I'm
that's some
sitting
of,
there in my mind thinking, yep. No, that's true. Yep, you're right.
yeah. I mean, that's
You just do your best. That's all you can do.
some of those
Do your
things you
best.
talked about, Josh Wise. I mean, that you can I can hear that.
I
Yeah.
can too.
But it's not a load of crap either. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's you.
I'm not trying to be like perfect, but I mean that's just I don't.
No, but make mistakes.
Can't,
I mean,
for me, if I set expectations for myself and I fall short, that's when for me I'm going to get in my own head and I'm going to tell myself you didn't do good enough. And in racing, if you set expectations to go win X amount of races and you have a 35th place car every week and you fall short, it's like you didn't do anything wrong, but you're still going to be mad at yourself. And that's the thing, whether it's, you have a pit crew and you have a bad day on pit road and that ruins your race, or, your car isn't capable that day. There's so many things that can go wrong that aren't in your control. And that change the way you finish. Mm-hmm. And, that's just why our sport is tough because, the player, the driver doesn't make all the difference.
Right.
They can make a big difference for what happens on race day and, what goes on the week to prepare for the race. But when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Successful people know how to manage expectations. And that's something that's really, really hard to do.
Yeah.
Whether you're one of those that says I under promise and over deliver or whatever, but it's very clear to me that you know how to manage expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes from being around the right people. A lot of it's just you and being able to have that balance. And there's not a lot of people that can do that and be okay with it,
Well, a lot of it I keep going back to in my mind is what he was talking about, how he was raised. I mean, even at our age, I wouldn't want to go to Italy by myself and not know anybody and not know the language and not know any of that, and to do it at a young age and have to do it and have to make sure that you're doing it right. That's the reason that you're seeing what you're seeing right now, I think.
Well, so we haven't officially decided we're going to get him in one of your cars, but I think
We'll work on that.
We'll work on it. What do you have coming up? You got anything big going on?
Everything I got
what's in the modified
tore
news?
apart. I've got all the motors out, all the bodies off. I got a car, my Bowman Gray car. I didn't really need a clip, but I'm old school. So last year in 24, it won 6 races, 6 poles, fastest lap of the year, most laps in the championship. This year it won 5 races, 5 poles, most laps, fastest lap, but I finished second
place.
So you're like, well, you don't really want to mess with it. But at the same time, it needed a little love. So it's at PSR getting I don't know that it'll get a clip. It'll get some bars replaced that are knocked around. Obviously, at Bowman Gray, you're going to have that.
Yeah.
But from there, that car will go get powder coated, stripped down, and we'll get it, put it back together. Our first race will be the Clash weekend, the modified portion.
Are you running the Clash again?
I'm close. I'm close.
All right.
I'm close.
Well, hopefully I'll see you out there. I'll get to race
we
against
might see you out there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm close.
Cool.
I'm close, but definitely going to run the modified portion.
Yep.
And then it's cool they added the Sportsman. I think we talked about that. Logistically, they figured out they could do it.
Yeah.
And then as of today, our plans are what they've always been: run Bowman Gray and run Smart. And you never know. I mean, last year I got to run Martinsville in the Cup car. So if something like that came up, I'd love to do it. But right now, just excuse me. Right now, just everything is stripped down and tore down, making bodies and sending rear ends and transmissions to Buzzy and just getting everything freshened up, man.
Right. Well, February will be here.
It will.
I mean, usually you've got till April, but now
Well, that's the
pushes to
thing is
February.
normally for us, our Smart cars have to be done first because Smart is March 1st. Bowman Gray is into April. Well, with the Clash stuff, the modifieds the Bowman Gray car has to be done for the Clash, which is 1st of January or 1st of February. So that kind of throws a hiccup into it because that car has to be done and it'll sit for several months.
Yeah.
So
anything new with Smart or anything for you or Slate?
not yet, not right now. Plans right now are to do what we've been doing in the past. Always looking for more partners. I guess I can say it. Pinnacle merged with another bank, and they have to refocus their budget and their marketing. So Pinnacle was really fortunate to have Pinnacle last year. Still bank with Pinnacle. My wife still works for Pinnacle.
Good group
but Pinnacle,
of people.
I'll always support Pinnacle,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they won't be on the car this year, just for business reasons with the merger and everything.
So what you're saying is you got space freed up.
Got a big quarter panel wide open. Wide open. So working on a few things, but yeah, just same old right now.
Well, we've got tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and we're going to start a sale on your
Yes.
diecast cars.
Yes.
On racefangear.com. The first 12 that sell at 20% off is going to be autographed, and the 124s. So Bert's going to autograph those here in just a little bit. You'll see a picture of him doing his line autograph. And you see all these guys doing. But great Christmas gifts. That 20% off sale will last until Monday. Is that right? And you'll be able to find those at racefangear.com, who is a big sponsor of ours. They help with this show. They help Bert. They help Slate. They help George. Yeah. So go on over racefangear.com. Check them out. 20% off sale, and the first 12 Bert will sign. If you can Slate sign them too. Somebody asked.
If they won't, he's here today. It'd be tough to do just because we won't know how many to do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. We did have a fan. He was actually in service, and he ordered a car and wanted me and Slate to sign it. So overseas.
Oh,
now,
is he?
so,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
But I mean, if somebody, it makes it tricky just because of the logistics of it. But I mean, as long as you can wait on it,
Yeah.
to where we can get it to where we can both sign it,
Right.
I think we could make that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as always, we want to thank Citrusafe Cleaners for taking care of our nice studio that we've got here. Oddly enough, they've got a new product that I just want to talk about real quick because I use this quite a bit. And it's called New Again. It's a rust remover kit. And if you've got anything that is rusted and just nasty and you're thinking about, there's no more use for that, I'm going to toss it out, hold what you got, okay? This stuff right here is awesome. It's not hard to use at all. It's not dangerous, anything like that. And what you will be able to do is take your griddle stuff, your pot or pans that you might cook out when you camp with. I think, didn't you take the screws out of your nitrous bottle?
Yeah, my nitrous bottle.
That was in your car?
Bracket, the bracket had a steel bracket, and I took the bracket off, and it had some rust on it, and we used that.
And we use that, and now it looks good again.
And the plate that my traction control mounted to.
I forgot about that.
We had some rust under it.
Yeah,
So,
'cause
anything with rust.
That night that you won the race,
Yeah.
it rained thereafter,
That's what
and they
happened.
got.
I
forgot that's what happened.
Yeah, no kid. Anything with rust on it.
Yeah.
I think what was cool was Tommy when you were testing it, I guess, and he said, "You have any old brake rotors or anything like that that are rusted?" And I was like, "Well, the scrap metal pile out there." So I bring some old rusted parts out here, and that's what they were testing. So, I mean, obviously your grill is where you want to use it on, but anything with rust, I guess, is it's marketed for the grills and the griddles.
Yeah, I've got a griddle, and it was. I didn't mean for it to be the worst looking one they've ever seen. But it's the way it turned out.
It's hard, man. I keep mine covered and keep it. And
I do
it's still
too,
just
but
the
it
moisture.
gets moisture
the
underneath
moisture,
it.
you're going to have the
I don't
rust. So
think
this
the-
right here will take care
I
of
don't
that
think
for
the
you.
covers actually. I mean, they obviously cover it, but I don't think they're waterproof.
No,
because mine was.
Well, it's the moisture.
The whole thing was like this color orange.
Yeah.
And I brought it in, and Devin was gonna, try it because we were all like, I got something that it's not gonna work on. We'll beat that. And Devin looked at it and was like, "The hell did you do with this? Put this on an aircraft carrier for a 6-month deployment?" But I mean, to his point,
it works, man.
we're
It
building
works.
we're building a new house, and I can't wait
works.
to get it back. And our first night in the house, wake up the next morning and cook some eggs and bacon on that thing. And but yeah, this is some awesome stuff. And don't just think about like the picture on there with the pot or griddles. If you've got rust and you need to get it off, I'm telling you what, it's the ticket. You
And
can get it.
well, here's the way I look at it is like people, I'm not saying that I agree with you, but a lot of people that are hesitant to clean a grill every single time,
Right.
you don't want to eat anything with rust on it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of, yeah.
In my opinion, you better use this every single
If
time.
you're not, if you're not already using,
I don't think you want to eat
if you're not
Rust.
already using Citrusafe grill cleaner after you use it, and you get to the end of the year, and
Yes.
you've been eating rust, and you've been eating chips of God knows what falling off of it, this is your Huckleberry. But you can get it at Home Depot. You can get it on HomeDepot.com, and it's in the grilling section. Is that right? In the grilling section at Home Depot and HomeDepot.com. One of the cool things about working here is it is not uncommon for us to come in and have a conversation about, man, I got this going on. I don't have any way to fix it or restore it or clean it or whatever. And, there's always somebody in the room just like,
hey, wait a minute. Yes,
really,
we do.
really, you just hold what you got.
Right.
Hold what you got. It's like the drone part of it. The great big drones that we fly, and we do, crop spraying and all that stuff. You can find us at Bryson Brothers Aerial Solutions on Facebook. I was talking about, there's nothing out there that cleans these things. And you have herbicides, pesticides, fungicides all over them. And, something like 80% of large drone crashes are from people that don't clean them. And so Tommy and I get to talking about it. And I was like, surely we've got something that's, not hazardous, that's going to work. And he was like, yeah, let me, mess with it for a little bit. And, we tried 3 different solutions, a couple different cut rates. And we finally found it. And it was like, it did great this year. Yeah. I mean, I had guys, calling me from all over the country. I had people in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, South America that were wanting to order it. And it's just because they're just good products. Yeah. They solve problems that people have. And I love nothing more than thinking I'm going to be able to stump these guys.
Yeah.
And saying, I got something they can't do. And then a week later, they're like, oh, yeah, check this out.
Citrusafe is used to clean grills.
Right.
It's a degreaser to clean grills. I'm not going to go into details, but I have a case of it at my race shop because it is a degreaser. Okay. It's marketed to clean grills and it does great, but it is also just a degreaser. And I keep a case of it at my shop. If you can put 2 and 2 together there.
I can. I get it.
It's a great degreaser. Well, we're going it's being bio-friendly and not hazardous. Yeah. And anyway, can't beat it, man.
No, you can't.
Can't beat it.
You can't. Well, we're going to send Connor home with some Citrusafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
We were talking earlier, his first win this year. He's going to get out, do the moonwalk, and hold up a bottle of Citrusafe grill cleaner. We appreciate that, keeping it in the family. Yeah. That's really cool. I'm sure he doesn't have other sponsorship obligations that he'll have to address. Personally, I'd just like to see him do a moonwalk. Let that be his thing. What Austin Dillon does I guess it's supposed to be a slide, but it's turned into the in the infield when he wins.
Yeah.
Carl Edwards did the backflip. Maybe we can get you to moonwalk or something.
Right.
I don't know.
I like it. I got to figure out something to do.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows a moonwalk, man.
Yeah.
But no, I do. We really do appreciate you being here.
Yeah, man.
No, thank you guys. It's been good.
Bert's been around a long time, has a lot of friends. I just get paid to be here. Nobody really cares about me. But we do as a group.
You get paid?
Huh?
You get paid?
Well, yeah, because
he's getting paid for this.
Oh no, not for this.
Oh
no, not for this. No, I'm on payroll. I'm on payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My title is gopher.
Okay.
They pick up the phone and like, hey, nobody else.
You said you had to miss deer hunting to come in here today, so I figured you must have got paid.
That's
just
high
so
honor.
You know.
High honor.
I've been chasing this mega giant. I don't know if you hunt or not. If you don't, you won't even care about this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. And I knew he was gonna be in there this morning. I was like, we've got that podcast. I swear if that deer's in there this morning,
he'll be back.
And he was there.
I get up this morning, I get out of the shower, and he's standing there like, this is my camera.
Standing there looking at it.
Yeah.
Just ready to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Right? So, whatever.
Oh, he'll be back.
But
he'll be back.
I was so excited about having you on because I am a big fan.
Yeah.
All joking aside.
Thank you.
And I'm a fan, I appreciate your accomplishments because I know how hard it is. Just from being around Bert so long and understanding the competition, all that stuff. I'm a fan because of who you are and that you're grounded and you're just different, and that difference not bad. Difference good.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a really good career. You're going to have a great fan base. And I would just implore you, man, just don't change who you are. Have fun with this as long as you can. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is don't let the corporate side of you change who you are.
No, I won't. I promise.
Well, you'll always have success. You'll always have longevity. And I was just honored that you took time out of your day to come down here. And
of course.
You've always got friends over here. And, at the Clash, if you want to come hang out, come hang out. We're not going to tell you any lies. You might get your feelings hurt a little bit, but it'll be brutally
I'm
honest.
used to that. I'm used to
It'll
that.
be brutally honest. But no, we look forward to following your season this year. We wish you the best of luck. To our loyal listeners out there, we appreciate it. We hope that you enjoy this when you're on your way to the in-laws' house tomorrow that you don't want to go to. This is a great opportunity for you to listen to this podcast. And then, maybe you can step outside, when you're with the in-laws you don't want to be with. And you can finish listening to it. But if you would do us a favor, give us a like, give us a follow, share this, share it on your pages. Growth helps us. If we grow, we get, people of this, stature that come in. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Both of you guys, everybody that's here that y'all can't see, and everybody in cell phone and tablet land, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you again to Citrusafe, and we will see you again. I don't know when.
I'll be gone next week.
I will too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up and
I'll be gone
I'm going to go with Tom.
Couple weeks.
We'll go with Tommy to Illinois. I'm going to watch deer. He's probably going to kill a giant, but I'll do what I always
weeks.
do and just watch them. But Tommy, did I miss anything?
All right.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, guys.